Encourage you now in taking your copy of God's Word and turning with me to our passage for this morning, which is James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. James 4, 13 through 17. Now, as mentioned earlier, I thank you for your prayers. Did I miss something, Bootsy? Oh, I'm sorry. Look, you're trying to get my attention. I got worried I missed something. We added things back this morning. I could have overlooked something. But as I mentioned earlier, thank you for your prayers, being with Terza last week, and appreciate Ethan McConnell preaching for us. I heard he did a wonderful job. So, of course, we weren't in James last week. And the week before, we had the baptism for Hazel Wilkes, and we looked at the book of Acts. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've been in our study of the book of James. So we come back to it this morning, and we come back to this sermon that we have been talking through and looking at that's all about faithful, practical Christianity. And that really one of the thesis statements of this book is when James says that a Christian is not meant to just be a hearer of God's word, but a doer of God's word. As we taught some about in Sunday school this morning in the overview of the book of Exodus, that the Christian faith is not a passive faith. It is an active faith. That we are called to hear God's word and to do it. And so James is laying forth of what it means and what it looks like to be a doer of the word, of what it means to faithfully be a disciple of Jesus Christ. It's a change of life. It's a change of mind. It's a change, as we'll see this morning, a change of perspective. And so we come this morning to this section that tells us even more, instructs us even more on how we live for the glory of the Lord and how to enjoy him in our lives. So we'll find us in James 4, 13 through 17.